back. We are so grateful this morning to be joined by the mayor of Durham. Leonardo Williams is here with us in studio. Leo, thanks so much for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're excited that you're here. And it's been a few weeks since your second State of the City address. I was there in the audience watching, and I know that it's been such an exciting first portion of your term. Can you talk to me about some of the big areas of opportunity for the Bull City?
Yeah, this is an opportunity. I think about it in 3 R's. It's an opportunity to remind what we're capable of, to truly reveal, remind us what we've done, reveal what we're capable of, and then reimagine, what we can create, what we can, innovate with. I think we're on the cusp of Durham's next renaissance, and just reimagining downtown, reimagining how we catalyze opportunity, just reimagining what is possible. And that's what I try to not only inspire, but also try and practice as mayor.
Yeah, I think a lot of people came away from that night feeling very excited about the future of the Bull City. Something I do want to talk about, it's a big topic of conversation in Durham, and it's gun violence, especially as it pertains to our youth. What are some ways that you and other city leaders are working to combat this problem?
Yeah, so when it comes to gun violence, it's really personal to me, simply because, about 90% of our gun violence is African American people, black people, and probably about 80% of them are black men. And so as a black man, as mayor, every time we see a young black male who's killed someone or has been killed, it hurts me to my core. What is frustrating is, unfortunately, we have to compete what policies we're going to do about gun and gang violence with street safety, street amenities, sidewalks, bike lanes, and it shouldn't be that way. So one thing I did was I took that conversation out of the city coffers and worked with local nonprofits, United Way of the Greater Triangle, Triangle Community Foundation, and established the Bull City Future Fund. And now, applicants as well as donors can go to bullcityfuturefund.com. They can donate. They can also apply for funding. We are about to announce the first round of funding, where we're trying to give up to $50,000 toward every mentoring group out there. And what it does is it expands the capacity and footprint of existing organizations that are doing youth engagement work, life-saving youth engagement work. And I do believe that the way forward is a public-private partnership. So we're doing our infrastructure thing as a city. However, when it comes to gun and gang violence, I have to incorporate the DA's office, the courts, the judges, the police department, the sheriff, the county. It's so many compartments, whereas when it comes to infrastructure, brick and mortar, the city owns all of that. So it's easier to respond, which means I really need the community to join in with me in doing this.
Yeah, and there are some community groups doing some great work, so we're excited to see that announcement that's coming soon. I want to talk about education now. You were an educator. You know firsthand kind of the issues facing teachers and students. And I know, there have been some issues in Durham Public Schools recently, right now dealing with the hiring freeze, concerns around transportation, issues with federal funding. So for parents or students who are concerned about the future of Durham Public Schools, what's a message that you want to share to them this morning? Yeah,
well, this message is not only to the parents, but it's also to the educators and to the school board members and the administrators. First and foremost, it should always be about the children. If you didn't have any resource, what you have is time and space between the teacher and that student. And that is what we have to remember first and foremost. Outside of that, we have resources that are juggled from the state and the federal levels to the local level. Sometimes politics tend to contaminate the process of teaching and learning. And I think in Durham, as well as other places, we've gotten to contaminate it. And so my message is clean the space. Get back to just focusing on teaching and learning between the teacher and the student. And parents must be engaged. I don't want to hear, oh, but what if a parent has, 2 or 3 jobs? We can't govern in what ifs. We have to make sure that our commitment, first and foremost, is working with our kids and being engaged with our kids. And if we go from there, we'll figure everything else out. So I'm really dogmatic about it. When I was a teacher, I never had to suspend a kid. When I was a principal, I never had to suspend a kid because relationships were everything. But yeah, sometimes politics contaminates the water, and we need to really focus on the water, which is the educational environment, rather than politically looking at individual fish. We got to stop that.
Yeah. Something else I want to talk about is homelessness and affordable housing. So we're seeing this booming growth in all over the Triangle, all over North Carolina, but we're seeing a lot of it in Durham. People are figuring out what a great place Durham is to live.
Yeah.
But a lot of people already live here, of course, and it's important that they can stay here and continue to live here. So what are city leaders, what are you doing to make sure that it's still an affordable place to live?
Yeah, well, homelessness, the unhoused population, is a very nuanced and very complex matter. The fact of the matter is, Durham has a wealth of resources, and the more resources you have, the more people are going to get on a bus from wherever they are. They're going to get on that bus, they're going to come to Durham, and they're going to sit outside and wait for those resources to come. What we have to do is have a practical response to it. I've requested from the city manager to provide an actual housing strategy, as well as a homeless strategy, as well as a public safety strategy and an economic development strategy. I want to go back to the opportunities in just a moment, but what we must do is we got to make sure that we are having this conversation in a nuanced way. No one is kicking people out of housing in Durham and they're ending up on the streets panhandling. So there are different layers to this, and there are different populations. And we have to make sure that our resources are first and foremost for the folks who actually live here and that are on the verge of being evicted or on the verge of being homeless. And there are a lot more than we see, because we actually don't see them. For the most part, we are exhausting resources to the folks that are actually coming to Durham. And I live downtown. I go and ask them, hey, where are you from? And they tell me all types of cities. Yeah. Why did you come here? I got on the bus. You guys have the resources. So we have nonprofits that recruit people here, and if you don't follow their rules, they kick you out on the streets of Durham. And people don't know that. So yet people will go and keep donating to them. So it's a very nuanced and complex matter that I'm looking forward to really being able to holistically respond. And that's what I've asked the manager to do, and he's working on that. So those four main strategies: homelessness, housing, public safety, and economic development.
We touched on a lot of heavier topics this morning, but let's talk about something a little more exciting, the Final Four.
Go Duke!
I know, very exciting right now. So how is the Bull City rallying behind the Blue Devils, really no matter the outcome today?
Yeah, we are, we're already a blue city politically, but we are blue, 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 down and out, and we are taking that light color blue over in Chapel Hill and turning them dark blue, come to the dark side. We as a triangle need to rally. This is, we are known as the city of medicine, but we are showing the world that we are continuously the city of champions. I recorded a video to the team yesterday, just really hyping them up because I couldn't make it to San Antonio. But yeah, it is reasons like that, world-class institutions, higher ed institutions, we're succeeding in almost every way. There are 30,000 cities and towns in the country, and Durham is the number 6 best run city. And when you come here, you think about it, what types of institutions are there? We have some of the best higher ed learnings, from NC Central to Durham Tech to Duke University. We have the talent pool everyone wants, and it really helps to see us on a national scale. And that's why folks want to come here. So when you hear me talk about a new innovation center that can hold a grocery store downtown and a convention center, it's because we are growing and we have to put our big boy pants on and be a real city. We are the 73rd largest city in the nation, and we just surpassed Greensboro.
Yeah. An exciting time in the Bull City. I know you're busy. I know you've got a lot going on, but the governor's inaugural ball is tonight. Are you planning to attend?
I am planning to attend. It's going to be a busy night.
Yeah.
I have 3 speaking engagements tonight. So Bull City Woodshop, the Durham Senior Life Center, and we have the Delta Sigma Theta organization. But right after that, I plan to get on the road and scoot over to Raleigh and have a good time with our amazing governor.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I know you've got so much going on, so we really appreciate your time. You're welcome back anytime. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Great for having you.
Thank you so much. And hey, we do want to let you know more about the inaugural ball that's taking place. You can watch our streaming coverage of that on the ABC 11 streaming app. It starts at 7:30. Barbara Gibbs and Quaylin Murphy will be here in house to host that special, and then Joel Brown and Amber Rupinta will actually be emceeing that event, so you won't want to miss that.